Welcome to Unapologetically Meg, the podcast where cleaner living meets real life. Your host, Meg, is a mom on a mission, clean living advocate, and firm believer that small choices create big change. Some might call her passionate. She calls it unapologetic. Around here, we talk about real wellness, not perfection, not what the industry sells us, just honest conversations, practical swaps, personal stories, and everyday ways to take back control of your health, one choice at a time. If you're ready to live more intentionally, think differently, and raise your standards for what you allow in your life and your home, you're in the right place. Reminder, this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered medical advice. Always consult with your doctor or qualified health professional for questions about your health. So let's get into it.
Welcome. I am Meg, and this is Unapologetically Meg. And truth be told, this is my second episode, but my very first with a guest. So welcome, Dr. Shawn. Zero pressure today.
Hi, I'm looking forward to this. Thanks for having me on. This is exciting. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So Dr. Shawn is a naturopath here in the DFW area for the last 28 years, essentially. So give us a little intro. How did you get here?
Hi, guys. How are you? Thanks for having me on, Meg. I'm excited to be here. 28 years of experience. I started my life and journey wanting to be a football coach and a science teacher, believe it or not.
In Texas? Never heard of that.
So being a coach was really and truly what I was all about growing up as a kid. You know, I got to live my dream doing that. I actually loved it. I was working in Irving for 3 years, coached, and then I learned about alternative healthcare. At the time, wellness wasn't even a word. I'm one of the dinosaurs out there that I was here before wellness was even a word. So it's hard to believe what I'm doing today before there was social media. There was no social media to help me learn. You had to go to a lot of conferences, had to go to a lot of trips to California, to Florida to train. But it was an awesome journey at the time. But naturopathic doctor, what I do is I help people holistically, naturally help work on their wellness. I took my football coaching to become a health coach, and pretty much being a naturopathic doctor, that's what I'm doing. I'm coaching people, motivating people, trying to help them keep on track with their health journey. Where people go to medical doctors for medical advice, medical interventions, people come to us and have been coming to me for years from a holistic standpoint, a holistic and a wellness approach without the use of medication. So that's hopefully that kind of helps. I've been doing this for 28 years, like I said, and my whole concept of what I want to try to get people to do is it's not about being perfect. No one out there will ever be perfect, but to understand that there are steps you can take to improve your health by improving your lifestyle. There's small little things you can do. We don't have to take large steps. It's baby steps, a little bit at a time. But listening to people like you, following people like you, seeing what people are doing to improve their lifestyle, it's not difficult as the mainstream medical doctors make it out to be. All they do is they give you prescription drugs to deal with your health, but they don't really ask you to make changes to your health. So I'm getting a little bit off track here.
No, it's good.
Okay, good.
I want to hone in though quickly, because you said it's not about being perfect. And my little slogan is cleaner living for real life, because it's not about being perfect. It's just about doing better. And I love that you said little things, little changes every day. I'm all about that. Mm-hmm. But how you and I met is I had kids later in life. So I was almost 43 when I had my second kid. And then, breastfed for 16 months and then finally came up to life. I'm 45 now. And I know they keep talking about do your mammogram by 40 or mammogram by 40. And just having moved into more of a holistic lifestyle with, the loss of my parents and doing some research. And I knew mammography was not really the route I wanted to go. I wasn't sure where I was going to go from there, but I saw my chiropractor at the time had just come to visit you, Dr. Courtney. And that's how I learned about Dr. Shawn and Whole Body Healing Center. So I walked in brand new, never having done thermography. Let's start there. So probably a lot of people listening in have no clue what thermography is. It's embedded in our heads that we go the, mammogram route. So talk to me as if I have no idea. What is thermography?
So yeah, I've been doing a naturopathic doctor since 1998. Thermography came to me in 2003. So I'd already been working on holistic wellness, healthcare for 5 years, got introduced to thermography as the next greatest thing since sliced bread. It's going to change the medical world for breast screening and breast health in women. And that's what it originally started as. I've got a picture here, and I don't know if you can post any pictures while we're doing it. This is thermal imaging, thermography. It's these type of pictures is what I'm referring to. Listeners need to know there are two types of thermography out there, and not both of them offer the pictures. But what we're doing in our clinic does offer the photographs, okay? And that's what, hopefully, this is what Meg's doing and what she's making you guys aware of. If you were to call a clinic, you wouldn't know to ask. There's two types of thermal
I didn't know that. I just learned that. So what are the two types?
So one's called contact thermography. It's where you stand in a room and they actually touch skin points on your body. They'll touch like 114 points with this little touch point instrument that they have. So, and then they'll have you cool down in the room for 15 minutes and they come back in and retest those points again.
Oh, interesting.
So the kind of report you're getting from them is a bar graph of where your body cooled down, where it didn't cool down. It's actually not, I don't think, when people think thermography, they're thinking this.
Yeah.
They're not thinking that, but I just want people to be aware. So we're here. You make sure you ask, are you doing thermal imaging?
Okay, so thermal imaging is what they should ask.
That's the key. So what thermography is, it identifies heat inflammation in the body. We all have levels of inflammation in our body, but do you have a lot of inflammation? Do you have inflammation in your body that could be turning into cancer on you? This is where the unknown is. I believe in the medical world, and I like dumbing things down for my clients, and I go more medical with my explanations because most people have been to medical doctors and they understand medical lingo for the most part. They're all about cancer. So they don't find the precursors or the early stages of cancer. They find the cancer. So this is my problem as being a holistic doctor, a naturopathic doctor, is everything in that field is geared towards cancer diagnosis, cancer treatment. There's so much more money made in the treatment of cancer than there is actually the cure of a disease. So they don't, unfortunately, it is what it is, Meg. I know you understand this, that paradigm is geared towards diagnosing and treating cancer. So it's in their best interest to diagnose breast cancer. But what thermography is doing, like I said, we can identify heat tones such as, I can't diagnose cancer with thermography. Okay. Sure. So let's get that out of the way. It's not going to diagnose you, but this shouldn't be a problem to your listeners. I don't want a tool that only diagnoses cancer.
No, I think of this as being proactive with your health approach. So for me, and correct me if this is not the way to think about it, as you're saying, mammographies or whatever, it's going to look for cancer, but it's not going to sit there and say, hey, you don't have cancer, but I have some few concerns, and here's what we can do to kind of turn those concerns around. Where for me, that's what I see thermography doing, is coming in and you finding these heat patterns that maybe shouldn't be there, a little too much. Here's now what you can do. Go take these steps, get you back in and kind of see how it progresses or doesn't progress. That's how I feel it is.
I like it. No, that's women need to know there's more tools out there that can help you prevent disease, help you stay on top of your game. That's what we're trying to do. forget the word cancer diagnosing. I hate that because that's a mammogram screening says early cancer detection screening. For men, it's get your early prostate detection or cancer screening.
It's
that's
putting
right
in your head that you're going to get it in a way, right? It's
exactly 100%. They're already
yeah.
telling you we're going to diagnose you with cancer, so come on and let's find it early.
Let's find it early, yeah. Right.
So what we're trying to do is prevent it. 100%. Thermography could be a tool that we do it more for a health screening now. It's not only for the breast, but for everyone that comes in that's a female. We are testing for breast health 100% without a doubt. Here's two things that thermography can identify that your traditional mammograms and or ultrasounds cannot identify. The estrogen dominance that you can find in your breast is inflammatory, and it stands out like a sore thumb in thermal imaging. Number two, the lymph congestion around your breast and chest area underneath your underarms is something that we can identify. Those are the two main things that lead to breast cancer: estrogen dominance and lymphatic congestion. And thermography can identify where you're at with both of those. And then with that, we give you a suggestion or solution to improve that.
Right. Which I love. I'm all about, like I said earlier, preventing. How do I keep my body, stable, moving forward? So let's just hone in a little bit in terms of mammograms and kind of why, again, outside of the, hey, we're just here to detect cancer, but things as to what made me pause was the false negatives, the radiation. Can you hone on a little bit more as to why, me being on the more holistic side, why I would choose thermography over doing a mammogram when it comes to that?
So what mammograms are doing, and it's an anatomical view of your body. What it looks for lumps. It looks for cysts, fibroids, lumps, swollen lymph nodes. So that if they find that, they don't know if any of it's cancer. So it gives them another screening they want to recommend. They'll recommend an ultrasound afterwards. Then they want to do a biopsy on any growths or developments in your body, which this is where the false positives come in play, because now they scare women, and it puts women into this fear state. Yeah.
Fight or flight,
It's very stressful during that time while they're trying to identify if it's a problem or it's not a problem. It doesn't, they can't give you information overnight. It's usually a 10-day, 2-week time period that you're waiting to get back these results. So that's the false positive. There's a lot of those because a lot of women have lumpy breast. And lumpy breast does not mean cancer, but to the medical world, it's definitely a cancer finder, and it's a way to define cancer in you. Thermography, let's say you have a lumpy breast, but it's non-cancerous. Cancer is inflammatory, kind of like I've already explained. Benign's not going to be inflammatory. In a thermal image, it will be cold. There will be no signs of inflammation there. So I can't tell you if you have a lump, but if you knew you had a lump and you knew there was something that they were zoning in on, this thermography could definitely give you peace of mind and say, hey, A, yes, there's something to be concerned with, or B, no, there's nothing to be concerned. And I will tell you, 90% of the people out there that they're dealing with these lumps are non-concerning factors. But that, once again, this goes back to those false positives, and they don't know until they do biopsies on you. Unfortunately, those are dangerous in themselves.
I was going to say, and biopsies take things to a whole different level in terms of opening a different door there. But so if you're somebody who maybe isn't as holistic as I am, but open to listening a little bit more about thermography, and they go do a mammogram and they come back and they're like, we found a lump. So you're maybe suggesting step number 2, come to me, let's do a thermography scan. Let's see if we detect any inflammation or not. And then maybe kind of go from there. Would that be?
Yeah, absolutely. To me, there's more information involved in thermography based on the identifying the estrogen dominance and the lymphatic congestion. Those are two things that we can really identify. And I can say that enough, but the mammograms don't identify lymph congestion. They don't identify estrogen dominant. Neither do ultrasounds. So you're already getting a limited screening. They're focusing on lumps. They like lumps. Because like I said, it leads to more procedures. We don't want to care about lumps. Okay. But a lot of women do, because medically they get you guys focusing on your lumps as a problem. But thermography can definitely give you peace of mind instantly. I can give you results instantly.
Yeah.
And that's, I believe, another good factor. Meg, you've experienced this with me several times. The instant feedback you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know how many women have come to my clinic and they start crying after I give them their clean bill of health results,
Right.
because they're so afraid.
It is very stressful. And I'll say, even for me, that I've done it, 3-4 different times now, you're still kind of sitting there waiting. But, and that was something I definitely want to make sure I address. And we'll kind of touch a little bit more on at the end. Okay. But in terms of what you do, because you are licensed, right, to be able to read it on the spot, that is huge. So I had a friend that had to wait 2 weeks that did thermography, and I'm like, ugh. So we'll kind of address a little bit in terms of that. But so you see, and I know we're focused a lot on women, but you also see men that do thermography too. So can men also have breast cancer, or what are we looking for?
Okay, so yeah, in general, kind of going back to, we've gone more from just a breast screening to more of a full body health screening. So men as well, they're welcome to do these screenings. There's so much information I can get, and it doesn't have to just be about your breast.
About the breast, right?
Full body. We're looking
inflammation is bad no matter what, right?
Exactly.
So
cancer has a significant heat pattern. It doesn't matter where it's in your body. When you come into my clinic, and I'm going over your images with you, Meg, oftentimes I go over other images to kind of give you an idea of how you compare to my favorite breast image. How's your stomach picture look to my favorite stomach picture? How's your face thyroid look to my favorite thigh? I want to make sure that my client is confident in this screening. So I like comparing with you guys, so you can walk in and see where you're at versus where you should be. It gives you some indication, and hopefully does give you more peace of mind. But yeah, with going back to the men question, it's more of a health screening now. Yeah. And with men as well, the big area in the men, women, we do the breast, but the men, we do the groin and crotch area for them. We can get indications of prostate cancer, testicular cancer, especially in that region that men are concerned about. Which we do that. And it's actually, once again, it's peace of mind for the men too. Yeah. Men are stubborn. They don't want to admit they're sick. They don't like doctor's appointments, whether it's a natural doctor or a medical doctor. They just refuse to go. But I promise you, when I do see men, they come into my clinic and I give them a little peace of mind that they're excited, just like women are, to hear that they got a clean bill of health.
Correct. Yeah. So I know you can do a full body scan. You can do just upper body, just breast region. So who would you recommend, what screening, and how often?
So in general, with the women, it's the same way you would follow your traditional medical mammogram path. They want you to do it every year. So we recommend coming in on a yearly basis. Thermography can identify, they say, cancer 5 to 7 years early. Wow. And it's because of that estrogen dominance. It's because of the lymph congestion. We can identify that early. We make suggestions. We'll help you improve that. You're not going to come in, be loaded with estrogen dominant, and not have something to improve that on. We will give you suggestions to fix that. But yeah, usually 1 year for women. Sometimes if you're loaded with estrogen dominant, we want to see you in 3 months. We're going to give you a protocol. We want to see you back in 3 months. Men usually, in general, we'll get them in one time. Once a year is great for them as well. But sometimes men are going to be, they'll be more like 1 to 3 year. It just based on if you're finding something that we're worried about, or if we're monitoring for you, or if you feel like you had a clean bill of health, we can, cross that bridge later, but normally it's going to be about a 1 year suggestion for women, definitely on breast health. I've seen women 1 in 6 months that look clean, 6 months later came back and it looked like it was cancer. Now, how does something like that happen? If thermography can find 5 to 7 years of ant,
Right.
she was under a lot of stress.
Yeah. I actually saw recently you posted someone had come in and you recommended them come back in 4 months. And I think you said that might be who you're referencing, came back in 6 months or 9 months later. And it was a lot more heat than I think you were liking.
Mm-hmm.
So when something like that happens, what do you do? What do you recommend?
Well, you want to get it. Unfortunately, at this point, I'm using thermography for women to help prevent you from going to your medical doctor and getting the mammogram. That's ultimately why we want to do this regularly. I always tell women your first thermography will usually be your worst one. Now, that's not always the case, but the information we give you helps you better your situation each time. But the one that you were referring to, we saw her last February. She came back in like April or I can't remember the exact, June maybe. So we were on track. And then she didn't come back in for 9 months. And that 9 month marker, her breast had really kind of gotten a lot worse. And so from that point, I said, there's a lot of heat here, a lot of inflammation. I've seen what cancer looks like. This is definitely something I want you to get a diagnosis on. So at this point, we recommended her to go to her doctor and get a diagnosis on it. Unfortunately, that's where we're at with her. And I wouldn't want her not to be aware of it. And I wouldn't want her to have her options available to her, whether it's medical or holistic and naturally. She needs to know what she's dealing with from their perspective. But yeah, I told her to go get it diagnosed. And
so go get a mammogram then at that stage, or ultrasound, or what?
I did recommend her to go to ultrasound, and we recommend the HER scan. But I believe for her, in most cases that we recommend people to go back to their doctors, it's always going to be to the ultrasound. It's never to get the mammogram next. I already know where the spot of concern is, but the problem is your medical doctor is going to dictate how he's going to do it. 99 out of 100 times, they're going to make you do the mammogram. And that's what stinks. But that's why women come do thermography, is they don't want to go that route.
So I know you also see kids too, but like at what age do you recommend people starting thermography?
Kids have different heat patterns. So it's not like we're just trying to help mom and dad get some information here. Okay. But yeah, kids' bodies temperatures are a lot warmer than adults. So there is some inaccuracy with it. Don't get me wrong. But if mom and dad are struggling with their kids and they want some information, thermography is a good tool on kids too. I've had kids as young as 6 years old, and you can see once again, cancer has significant heat patterns. And obviously when I'm testing a kid, I don't want to see cancer, and neither do mom and dad. But sometimes you got to know, hey, this looks bad. You need to go get some blood testing done, get something done on this level or whatever, if necessary. I've had to do that before. I've had a 4-year-old girl that had lymphoma. We did a thermography scan on her, and it does show a significant heat pattern in and around her lymph area. It's kind of crazy, but when you got lymphoma, it's lymph cancer. And we've had, other random issues, but that was really the worst one, the 4-year-old. So I've had a 4-year-old in here. In general, going back to like breast health and breast awareness, I've had 14-year-old girls in here, 16-year-old girls.
What's your recommended age to start, would you say?
18 years old would be, I would think, if you want to prevent breast cancer, thermography, start doing thermal imaging at 18 years old. Okay. And like I said, with the suggestions, you'll definitely be more aware of any concern that you have. More than likely, if you do it right, you won't have breast cancer. Won't be a thought in your mind. You'll know, and you'll be more proactive in taking care of it.
And the one thing I learned with coming to as well is sports bras. Like a lot of the younger kids are wearing sports bras or something tight on top to bed. What are suggestions like that you want moms to know right now to, start nixing these
Oh
things?
yeah. So good question. I appreciate you asking. This is definitely one of my big things. I had a 29-year-old girl come in that was diagnosed with third stage breast cancer. This was back in 2016, and this was the first one I thought of. She's 29, diagnosed with third stage breast cancer, and I started getting more information on her. She told me at 16 years old she had started developing lumps in her left breast.
Wow.
So her doctor's recommendation at that time was to come twice a year to monitor these lumps in her breast. So at 16, she was going to her doctor twice a year. And
Radiation from
that's
the.
right, exactly. Well, she didn't get a mammogram every time, she said.
Okay.
She was still young. They were definitely doing ultrasounds. They were doing, touch and feel. She said in a 13-year period, maybe 4 or 5 mammograms. So maybe one every other year or something like that.
Did they tell her to anything to prevent, anything to change?
No, nothing. Nothing. So 6 months prior to that, she got a clean bill of health
so we
again.
can monitor the progress. That's it.
Yep, exactly. And then they diagnosed her with third stage breast cancer. After 6 months earlier, she was clean bill of health. So I'm starting to think, and I'm asking, I'm like, what are you doing that the average 16-year-old girl's not doing? So I started asking her questions. Do you wear a bra to bed? She was, oh yeah, I wear a double tighted sports bra to bed every day. She used to be a gymnast. And at 16, she started developing lumps. And I said, you would have saw me 6 months ago. We would have had this conversation. I would have told you to take that sports bra off. But this goes to women, mothers. My daughter was 17 at the time that this happened. And I remember talking to my daughter, Brenna, and she had a bunch of girlfriends over that played soccer with her at the house, and they were sleeping over, and they all were going to bed with their sports bras on. And so this was definitely a red flag for him. We got these 16, 17-year-old girls going to bed with sports bras on. It becomes so normal to them because they're playing sports in them.
You're in it.
They're comfortable. They hold things in place better. But I'll tell you, that was one of the biggest contributors to her breast cancer is the restriction that you're restricting your lymph flow with bra straps. Why do men not get cancer and women get cancer? Sure, men don't have boobs like women do, but we have breasts in the chest area. You guys are restricting every single day. And even you're wearing tight ones to squeeze them even tighter and closer. It's going to be my suggestion and my recommendation. I write this in all of my reports. Do not wear your bra more than 12 hours a day and never sleep with one on. So if you have a young girl watching, mom watching this, make sure they just wear a t-shirt to bed.
I immediately, once you said that, my daughter will straight up tell you, she's like, nope, I can't wear anything tight. And she's 7. So I've been embedding this in her head for a few years now. Excellent. So, what do you think causes breast cancer?
Well,
that's a loaded question.
It's a loaded question. And the genetics thing, I don't believe it. And I hate the genetic thing. So I'm going to tell you guys watching too, if mom, aunt, great aunt, that's a bunch of mumbo jumbo. And it's for them to generate more business for them, because you guys are all going to get checked out. So there's going to be a slight genetic thing, but it's definitely not what outweighs it. Stress is ultimately your number one cause of cancer, period. Okay. Stress. And then number 2, you're looking at lifestyle. Obviously, it's going to be your lifestyle. That's why genetics really doesn't play a role here. It's going to be your lifestyle that plays your biggest role, your diet, stress. So many people deal with stress and they think they adapt to it. Most people don't adapt to stress well, that especially those that are in disease states. Like that lady I was telling you about 6 months prior, she comes in, clean bill of health. 6 months later, it looked like she had something of very high concern. We sent her to go get it looked at, but within that 6-month window, I asked her what's going on. Her husband was in a motorcycle accident, lost half of his leg. And crazy stuff go on, but that literally flared up a giant stress in her body. So anyways, like I said, within 6 months, that can happen depending on your stress loads. So go the loaded question, the easy answer, stress, but there's obviously more to it than just that.
Okay. So stress being number one.
Absolutely.
So we obviously talked about not wearing sports bra to bed, letting them be free at night. What are other things that people can do on a daily basis that you would, recommend?
Yeah.
Walk out the door, go do these things.
So I find, one of the best exercises that you guys can do every single day is rebounding on a mini trampoline. Mm-hmm. There's my number one go-to. Doing thermal imaging. Almost everybody has some level of lymphatic congestion under their underarms, around the chest and breast. Even men do. But every now and then I find somebody that has a clean bill of lymphatic health. And I'm like, what do? Your lymphs look great. Rebounding. I mean, not many people out there are rebounding, but I'll tell you the ones that do it. And now that I recommend it to almost everybody, Meg, you probably started doing it, maybe from my suggestion, but if not, do a YouTube search, people, of rebounding and lymphatic health. There's a lot of doctors, a lot of experts. This is like, to me, it's one of those ancient Chinese secrets. We all need to be rebounding. So rebounding is a great exercise. I can see before and after improvements. It's amazing. And I'm sold on it. And then dry brushing is another thing that I tell my clients to do 2 times a week. Get yourself in a habit of doing dry skin brushing. Once again, do a YouTube search for dry brushing and lymphatic health. And then a third thing, those vibrational plates.
Right. Yep.
Movement's good. Rebounding is your best. I'm going to tell you, marathon runners have lymph congestion. Yoga students have lymph congestion. Pilates, lymph congestion. People that go to the gym and work out. The ones that amazed me were the ones that were doing rebounding. For whatever reason. Here's what I tell my clients. So with rebounding, Meg, the side of the body that you sleep on mostly. If you're a right side person, you're going to be more congested on that side of your body. Wake up in the morning and do 10 to 12 minutes of rebounding every day. There's that doctor out there, that Chris Beat Cancer. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, for sure.
He's constantly promoting rebounding. He says 10 minutes a day of rebounding, equivalent to 10,000 steps. So, I mean, there you go. There's your 10,000 steps. Get on a rebounder. It's amazing, guys. It really is.
So would you say that the rebounder is more, has more of a pack than the vibrational plate?
I believe it does. And I have a lot of people that have vibration plates that come in. Mm-hmm. I don't have a lot of before and after testimonials because people tell me they have them. They're just not using them. So I can't really ever get a wind on whether or not those are really beneficial like they say they are. So it's hard to know, but from what they say, they're supposed to be good.
I have one sitting in my office right here. I'm looking at it. But I started with the rebounder. One, it's way cheaper. Yeah. But it was hard for me in terms of space. So that's why I ended up going the vibrational plate.
Gotcha.
So that's why I was asking, should I go back to a rebounder and just deal with the space?
Well, yeah, you got,
something get it flowing, however.
Yeah.
And dry brushing, the one thing I do as maybe a little tip, I keep it in my shower. Okay. So when I turn the water on in the morning, it takes a minute or two to heat up. That's my time that I do my dry brushing. So
good tip right there.
Kind of ready to go.
That's actually, you do want to do it on dry skin. Yeah, they say it's not nearly as effective once you get in the shower and you're doing it in the shower. So just so you guys know that.
Do it before. Yeah. Because it opens it up and then is what I've heard. And then when you shower. Yeah. Okay, so dry brushing, rebounding, vibrational plates, obviously eating cleaner, stress reduction. Those would be some of the main things.
Sleep. Sleep. Good sleep, people. 7 to 8 hours a day. They do say women need about 9 hours compared to men. So I'm just saying sleep is it's under the radar. To me, it's another ancient Chinese secret. People, we try to, get less sleep, but your body actually doesn't repair itself when you're awake. It does most of the repairing while you're sleeping at night.
Yep. Sleep is important to me. My husband knows this. He, on the other hand, we're still working on that piece of it.
Easier said than done. I get it.
Yeah, I know. So in terms of, because you own Whole Body Healing Center, obviously thermography is what I do with you. I come once a year. I always do it in January. Some things that you have me do afterwards, which I'm actually going to start ahead of time and see if we notice a difference. But I think it's clary sage essential oil with a carrier, and rub it in the breast area. So what is that doing? Is that just helping with the congestion, the lymphatic flow?
Yeah, it's the estrogen dominance. So the estrogen dominance, most women watching this video right now, watching you, they have estrogen dominance. So I will say 8 out of 10 of you guys are carrying estrogen, which is inflammatory. It's inflammation in the breast. So when you come in and do a thermal image, right away, I'm going to see this inflammation. It's not cancerous, but this is one of the factors that can lead to it down the road. But the essential oil protocol, one of my clients did it years ago and wanted to see if this would help. I used to have a different protocol. I would recommend progesterone cream. She took an essential oil, clary sage, and she did it for 3 months, came back and saw me, and all the heat was gone. I was like, wow, that really worked. I'm going to start recommending that. So ever since then, I've been recommending clary sage or Dragon Time.
Dragon Time. Yep. That's
Dragon Time is a Young Living brand. Clary sage is a single oil. You could probably find it it's 2 drops with a little carrier oil of some sort. So it spreads evenly over the breast area once a day, sometimes twice a day, depending on how much heat we're seeing here. But a lot of times those people that come back and they do those 3-month follow-ups, that's when I can see if that protocol is working for you. Almost every single time it does. So that's the good news. So with that, I've been telling women they should do that 3 months out of the year. Don't do it every day forever. Do it 3 months out of the year. I feel your body builds immunity to it, and it won't be as effective if you did it all the time.
On top of that, so I guess the one thing I would say too is, we want this to happen yearly. Those 3 months that you're talking about with the essential oils, pick a month that you kind of remember every year. So for me, it's January. January is my year that I go see Dr. Shawn. So it really helps me remember. So I would say in terms of those wanting to go down this route, figure out what month it is that's going to be every year. And that's my month to go make that happen. So for those that don't live locally and can't come see Dr. Shawn, again, you're licensed to be able to do the reports on site right there. So you don't have to wait. What are they looking for? They'll look up thermography, those that do the imaging,
thermal imaging.
And then also that are licensed.
So here's the deal. It's not licensed, it's certified.
Sorry.
There's no license to do that. You're just certified to do it. But here's the deal. Here's what you're looking for. Most clinics, I will tell you, do what your friend did. They're going to have someone that does the imaging. They got to send them off to a doctor that's in Canada somewhere. He writes up the report. He'll get it back to you. Not many clinics are doing it like I do. I don't know of any that are certified to look over the images at the time of the appointment. It's kind of crazy. That's one of the things I don't really like about thermography. These guys, they send them off to a doctor in Canada. He doesn't even do thermography in his clinic, though. But he's making money on these interpretations, so he's not going to turn down the money. And so, anyways, it's not a negative.
Have him send it to you, Dr. Shawn.
Yeah, exactly. And here's what I do. Hey, listen, those of you watching, you're out of state. I do this with my own clients, and I got a lot of followers that follow me. You do a thermal imaging, get the report. But if you're interested, you can contact me directly, and I'd be happy to go over the images with you. I do charge a fee for it. But it's definitely worth it because I can give you some more information than probably, and I can even dumb it down for you because a lot of times those will always say, go get a mammogram done because they're written by a medical doctor. They're going to send you need to go get a mammogram now. So it leaves a client a little bit confusing on, wait a second, why did I just do this? I thought this was to replace the mammogram, but yet you're going to tell me to get a mammogram. So I'm just sharing with you, be careful with that. You're going to probably get that, but it doesn't really mean you have to unless they find something that's suspicious enough that says go get one, which, like I said, I'll do that every now and then if there is a suspicious thing happening. And it does happen, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well,
But
it's good to know they can reach out. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Well, I was saying one of the things I wanted to just they're gearing and leaning more towards cancer diagnoses today.
Right.
So, and this is part of the overdiagnosing of cancer. It's coming from the mammogram world. So a lot of you women going and doing that, you have definitely a higher percentage today than ever before of being diagnosed with cancer. So I just want to share that with you. That's why you want to look for something more outside of that box to kind of help you, because you don't want to just be a dart that they're throwing darts at and just going to diagnose you and put you through a treatment that you don't really need. I do find that in my own clinic that people are being overdiagnosed cancer, that it doesn't appear on my end.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I love that you just offered up your service. So I'll make sure your information is shared. So those that do go somewhere locally that they're not able to read the report, you can reach out to Dr. Shawn. He'll have a service that he can read it for you. We have two more things that I want to just go over quickly. Whole Body Healing Center, for those that are local, can you just give us an idea of other things we can come and work with you through outside of thermography?
Yeah. So as a naturopathic doctor, I have a biofeedback health assessment. And normally with my thermal scan, I do offer a price point for clients that do thermal imaging so they can do the biofeedback scan. The biofeedback is more information. It does a hormone panel. It does a vitamin and mineral panel. It can test your adrenal health, your nervous system health, your immune system. So it gives me a lot of information, what's going on in your body from a different perspective. It's a computer-based test that spits out information on what your body is doing or what your body's saying. And with the combination of thermography and the bioscan, I can offer you a healthy plan to improve your health, give you some support product if your adrenals are stressed out, or if your nervous system's out of balance, or if your liver's showing stress. We kind of work from you from that perspective. My sister Deneen works in this clinic with me. She has for years. I do more of the diagnostic work with the thermography and the biofeedback. She does more of the therapies in our clinic. Infrared sauna, the ionic foot detox. We have lymphatic therapy based on what we learned from thermography. If you have really bad lymphs and congestion, more than just dry brushing or rebounding, we have a device here that's very therapeutic for lymphatic support. It's awesome. We've used it many times with people with cancer. We have a Beamer mat, which is like a PEMF mat. It does circulation therapy. It's really good, really helps improve the overall healing of the body. We do red light therapy here. So like I said, my sister does that. I'll work up a plan for you, usually put you on some detox cleanse, and she'll put you through a bunch of detox services for those that are interested in combining the take-home detox kit, coming in, doing some of the sweat saunas and stuff like that. I believe they're all important.
I love it. Well, thank you. Again, it's Whole Body Healing Center in Louisville. Again, I will add his information. And then my last thing is I am ending each of my episodes with one unapologetic tip from my guests. So really one thing that you would say everybody should probably do this daily or stop doing this, that's really going to have a big impact on their health. What would that be?
Guys, this is going to blow your mind.
I love it.
We've already talked about one, and I'll say it. This is the rebounding on a mini trampoline. All right. So I'm going to throw that one out there. Get on that. But this one right here will blow your mind. Stop drinking coffee. Yep. Coffee it's very acidic. It's fueling acid in your body. It's overstimulating you. It's driving anxiety in your body. It's raising your blood pressure. You don't sleep well. Do you drink coffee? Seriously, it goes all the way to time. Even I just drink it at 6 a.m. every single day. Heartburn, acid reflux, gout, arthritis. The list goes on. Stop drinking it every day. How's that, Meg?
I love it. And the one thing I just want to mention this because I asked you, I remember when I came and I did that biofeedback with you, and that was one of the big things that kept showing up for me with coffee. And I'm like, is it caffeine? Can I do decaf? And it's strictly coffee because you said tea is totally fine, correct?
Right.
And it's coffee, all coffees, stop it altogether.
Correct. It's coffee's very acidic. It's more than just the caffeine. It's the acid. So I tell clients, hey, listen, once again, not about being perfect. You can still have a cup here and there. Switch over to tea though. Switch over to tea where you're not having to wake up every single day and have a cup of coffee. That's an addiction. Yeah. That is a serious problem. And your body does go through withdrawal symptoms. Why? Why will you have a headache and a migraine the day you miss your cup of coffee? Why is that not a red flag? Seriously, that should be a red flag.
Thank you. And I will also say a replacement. What is that? Tea? Is it
dandelion tea?
Dandelion. That's like, it kind of has that. So if you like the idea of coffee and going through that motion, it's kind of tastes like coffee, but it's a tea.
Good. I'm good with anything. Black teas are fine. I tell clients the tea category is fine. Get off the coffee category. I don't care if it says coffee, don't call me. Can I do a mushroom? Can I do organic?
I tried multiple. I remember texting you over and over again. You're like, hey, no.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one. Coffee lovers love their coffee. And it's crazy, and they're very.
It really is a ritual. And I just got done reading Atomic Habits, and it's so true. That is like a habit that I have in my life that needs to go away. So.
All right. Well,
Dr. Shawn, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. And I will, again, drop your information here for anybody that wants to reach out. So
thanks, Meg. This was fun. God bless you.
I appreciate it. Take care.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks for tuning in to Unapologetically Meg. If this episode resonated with you, we'd love for you to share it with someone who's ready to live cleaner, bolder, and more intentionally. You can follow Meg on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Organically Meg. And don't forget to check the show notes for links, resources, and other ways to stay connected. Until next time, stay well, stay unapologetic, and remember, it's not about perfect, it's about better.